This is the story of the interview that we did with His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, in 2007. There's another story that supports this interview, and that's the story of the journey that we took from California all the way to Dharamsala to meet with His Holiness. It's a story of the relationships that we developed with Emmanuel at the Creative Minds International Academy and his students. It's a story of our engagement with the Tibetan Children's Village school students and Yeshin, their teacher, and all of the unexpected surprises that happen along the way on one of these journeys. That story is told in the documentary put out by the Project Happiness group in conjunction with the Dalai Lama Foundation in California. But we thought it was important to let everyone see the full conversation that happened between the students and His Holiness. And it's important because it's a dialogue about the relationship of ethics and values and happiness in human life. And it's also important because what we saw with the Dalai Lama was not only was he speaking to us on these values, but he actually embodied those values in the way that he related so graciously with the students. So we hope that you'll enjoy seeing the full interview and getting a sense of the wonder of that experience for all of us.
First of all, I welcome you here. And I really appreciate you are actually trying to how to implement the, let's say, one of my fundamental sort of belief that in order to be a happy person, or in order to lead meaningful life, whatever you call ethics or any word, my viewpoint, some truthful, realistic, is, I think, very essential to lead meaningful life. So that means basically we are social animal. So the factors which bring together is very essential, because our very existence by nature is something like social animal. So individuals' happy life or happy future life depend on the rest of the community. So the element to bring, of course, money also very important, and gift also, but main thing is human warm-heartedness, human affection. Affection there, recognize other as our brothers, sisters. My future very much related with them. It's that kind of, I think, recognition. Right? And respect them, make friends with them. So the key element to bring together happily is trust. How to develop trust, honest, truthful, sort of affectionate attitude, that brings trust. Trust brings harmony. Harmony brings happier society. So not talking about next life or religious side. Simply, in order to be a happier person, more meaningful life, I feel these are essential thing. On the other hand, fighting, quarrel, killing, and to some extent, that also part of our life in order to protect ourselves. But basically, these are destroyer of our happy society, happy individual. The fighting, anger, hatred creates more enemy. Love, compassion create more friend. Everybody is a love's friend. No one wants enemy. I think each day start. I think nobody thinking, oh, today I want to create enemy, one enemy. Oh. But by nature, from the early morning, oh, I want one friend. That kind of thing. So that's basic human nature. So sometimes we neglected about this inner value. So I think when we judge various different societies, different group of people, where more sort of honesty, compassion there, more harmony, more happier. No matter their life, whether difficulties or easy, but more, I think, human spirit there, even though their life is difficult, but happy. Lacking that, life very colorful, very active life, but deep inside, a very unhappy person. We noticed, isn't it? So the so-called modern education, I think mainly related with material, facility of material development. And I think and also, you see, this modern education mainly concerned about physical level experiences or pains or pleasure. That's my view. As a human being, I think the more serious experiences which occur in mental level, not physical level, because of sensorial level, but mental level. So now there, the affection, compassion, the sense of community, honesty, truthful, now these are key elements to counter mental unhappiness or uncomfortable way. So now how to make practical way in these ideas? I don't know. I have no idea. I just express. I think in any case, much easier to find faults and difficult to show the right answer. So our existing education system, certainly certain things are lacking or we are neglected. So now there's no harm to carry more research work, what we are lacking, what we need. Right? So you are actually now starting that kind of work, so I very much appreciate. So I think I prefer using more interaction. Right? Interaction. Any questions or any argument or any criticism, most welcome.
Thank you so much. I will go and sit there and allow the students to ask you their questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Your Holiness.
Your Holiness, how can we cultivate the interdependence that you talk about in your book and also be empowered?
Interdependence.
And also be empowered to fulfill our own interests and personal goals?
Interdependency. Basically, there are two types. One, every event entirely depends on its own causes, right, and conditions. That's one way of the meaning of interdependency. The result depends on cause. The second, interdependency means interconnectedness. Now these both, I think firstly, I think the interdependency in the sense result or effect depend on causes. That view brings us more seriousness about preventive measure. We do not want the more problem in future. Then these problem or good thing which we want not come because of the accidentally, accidentally, positive or negative, there must be causes. So the vision or proper sort of planning about future just now, right? That is very, very helpful. And then also another sense, you see, that concept give us more sort of what's the realistic way to face the problem which we are facing today. Because its causes and all conditions now fully ripened. Therefore, we cannot avoid that. We have to face. Then second thing, the second meaning of interdependency, that is now one part of the world, something happened, that sooner or later its repercussion reach other part of the world. Now, particularly in the field of economy, in the field of particularly environment, now whole group interdependent. So that brings us more holistic view. Whenever we face some problems or certain sort of goal we want to get, they understand the interdependency or interconnectedness, then we have to look more holistic way. Some negative things happen, we can't blame just on the spot. So these things happen due to that. So in order to tackle that problem, we have to deal all other sort of the factors. So again, I think both cases helpful to know the fuller picture. As a result, our approach becoming more realistic. So that's the meaning of interdependency. Although this concept, the Sanskrit word Pratityasamupanda, I think the Buddhist concept. However, this concept I feel very much relevant in any fields. Sometimes I feel even those people who are very much against religion, against Buddhism, they should adopt their anti-religious activities according Pratityasamupanta, then did it become more effective. So this idea is come from Buddhism, but this is adaptable, right? Applicable, every field, and particularly today's world, due to population and easier communication, including internet, world become very smaller. So we need more holistic view. That's, I think, very important.
Thank you.
Then?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Next.
I'm next. How does Your Holiness think that we can end religious conflicts without removing religion from its important role in our communal life?
I think firstly, those people who believe religion, then should be very serious and should be very sincere. And then I think basically all major religious tradition, you see, carrying same message of love, compassion. On that basis, the concept of tolerance, forgiveness. All major religions, you see, talking these importance. So if person who sincerely practice this and seriously, then that person, I think when come across some problems, some different views, I think you see may not burst away, may not burst. There's number one. Then second, again, some kind of the interaction way. Closer sort of contact. I think that's very, very helpful. That's, I think, very important. In the ancient time, I think like we Tibetan Buddhists, we remain in our own land with isolation. So then, under that circumstances, no matter what our attitude towards other religion, doesn't matter. Although in Tibet, in the past, there are Muslim community, and since I think the beginning of 20th century, some Christians also is there, but a very, very small number. But generally, the people, only Buddhism. So that time, someone feel Buddhism is best, other religion is so-so. That doesn't matter, isn't it? Now, different picture. For example, we Tibetan community, refugee community in this country, often, daily, you see, we meet people from different traditions. So, if we carry the same sort of attitude in the past when we are complete isolated situation, then there could be a problem. So the new situation, now under these circumstances, the closer contact is very, very essential. Now there are different ways. Usually I is suggesting to my friend that number one, meeting scholars from different tradition on academic level and discuss what is similarities or what differences. And obviously, there are differences. I usually feel the practical side or practice side as a religion, as a spirituality, I think more or less same. Practice of compassion, practice of love, forgiveness, these things. But then philosophical aspect, there's big differences. Even within the theistic religious tradition, there are differences in the philosophical field. So then important is what is the purpose of these different philosophy? I think same purpose. Is to strengthening basic the religious message of love, compassion, forgiveness, these things. To some people, in order to cultivate in someone's mind these deeper values or spiritual values, the approach to some certain people is a certain, for example, the idea of creator, God, absolute. So that concept is very, very powerful. To cultivate in someone's mind of importance of love, compassion, love to God, love to fellow human being, like that. And whenever that person you meet some disliked person or enemy, something like that, think the other person you individually don't like, still that person as an image of God. This is that kind of the attitude, that kind of the concept, immense benefit to reduce hatred or anger like that, or fear. Then, like Buddhism, those non-theistic sort of religious approach, law of karma and law of causality, and ultimately much depend on one's own attitude. So that way of approach is more effective to some people. So through academic the way, they try to find sameness, same goal, in order to strengthening these basic human values, compassion, so on, like that. This is one level. Another level, meeting with genuine practitioners of different tradition. Me personally, very, very effective. Like the same room, you see here, I had the opportunity spend several hours with late Thomas Merton. Good Christian monk, a good practitioner. You see, as a result of exchange, interaction with him, I understanding about the value of Christianity. That not only his the verbal explanation, but his own way of life, and also late Mother Teresa. Their whole life itself now show us the value or potential of their belief. So that way, in spite of different philosophy, different way of approach, they all have same potential to bring happier person or good person. Then third, like Assisi meeting. The late Pope initiated that kind of gathering. I think that to ordinary people, at the millions of ordinary people, I think that kind of meeting, gathering of leaders of different tradition, and speak same message of love, message of peace. I think tremendous impact in the eyes of millions of people. Then fourth, group pilgrimage. Go to different sacred places or holy places, and if possible, pray together. If not, silent meditation together. I start this practice, I think 75. So for me, very useful. With this spirit, I visited as a pilgrimage to Jerusalem a few times. Then also and some Christian holy places in France, like Rood, and one Portugal, the Fatima. So at Jerusalem, one occasion, we Buddhist, and then Jewish, and then Muslim, Christian, some Hindus, at least 5 people from 5 different traditions. We together pray, meditate. So that also very important. I'm Christian. I'm Buddhist. I'm frankly speaking, I have no faith about Creator, about God. But in Rood, in the front of Jesus, Mary, I really get some quite I think spiritual vibrations. Then Fatima in Portugal, again one small Mary statue. In front of that, we spent a few moments silent meditation. Then when we are leaving, I turned back to the Mary statue. And actually, the Mary statue smiling at me. Perhaps my eyes, something goes wrong, maybe. If not, then actually you see that small statue beautifully smiling. So it is, theoretically speaking, I'm non-believer, according to Christian belief or theistic viewpoint. I'm non-believer, but that non-believer receiving some kind of blessing from Mary. So these are very helpful. Then one occasion, I visit one city, I think John Mayne's Center in England. They invited me. I give them, I think few days, I think 3 days or I think maybe 3 days. Each I give them explanation on the basis of some verses of gospel. It is rather, the difficult job, but I try my best. Explain. But of course, before each session, I got some homework with the Catholic brother, his explanation. So in any way, they really enjoyed my explanation about God, about Creator. So later, some of their members come to India, and at Bodh Gaya, again some dialogue, I think 2-3 days. So each morning, under Bodhi tree, where historically Buddha enlightened, so most sacred place of Buddhism, so some Christian brothers, sisters meditate under that Bodhi tree with Buddhists. Later some Hindus, some Muslims also join. So that's, I feel, to some people, that method very effective in order to develop genuine respect towards other tradition and appreciation of other tradition, admiration of other tradition. So these are the method to develop genuine harmony on the basis of mutual respect, mutual admiration. And through that way, we can learn each other. Very useful. So that's about a method to promote religious harmony. So those people who really, feel harmony is important, then utilize this method. And those people who feel differently, then let them go different way. Yes, next question.
Your Holiness, how should we react or respond to people who deliberately hurt us or deprive us from certain rights and privileges because they feel they are more powerful than us or they think we are helpless?
This is a practical question. I think long run, as we already discussed, the proper education, promote basic human value, human ethics. That ultimately, that's the, I think, important answer, or reduce the feeling of discrimination on the racial or on the races or the wealth or even education or religious basis. Then today, certain generations now bring a different way, lack of these inner values, isn't it? Now the younger generation or another generation now facing these problems, now have to fight. So individually, as I mentioned before, when we face someone who are taking advantage on you or bullying on you or discriminate you, firstly, perhaps think the other as an image of God, and also creation of God. I think that attitude, that outlook lessen your frustrations. Then, so you can keep your mind more or less calm level, and without the anger, without too much fear. Due to calm mind, you see these are less, isn't it? Then try to take appropriate countermeasure through law or through mobilize more people. Sometimes you have to shout. So I think, unfortunately, today's world is like that. More individual, even some individual who have very, more power due to political reasons or due to wealth. Then difficult to face these injustice. But there is no point to discourage oneself. No reason. There is no use to become pessimistic attitude. We have to fight. Which believe the equality, all creature. Generally speaking, you see, God creates equal way, isn't it? From the religious viewpoint, from practical viewpoint, or practical or another viewpoint, all humanity is same. All have same right. due to some artificial reasons, discrimination is absolutely wrong. So we have to make correction in that. So like that. But generally speaking, I think these or the activities or which are against certain things, better non-violent way. Then there is greater chance is to change of others' mind. Use violence, then the other side may harden, or maybe hardened. Like that. Of course, these are sad things. Even though some those countries are called democratic and with rule of law, but still, in some pockets, is some this kind of unfortunate things still happening. That's sad. Then, next question.
Your Holiness, what brings you lasting happiness? And is freedom an integral part of happiness?
Yes, of course, freedom also very, very important. But freedom alone, I think freedom, there are two kinds of freedom. Freedom in the country, right? Freedom in our mind. As I mentioned earlier, the calm mind is in a way free from destructive emotion. Too much jealousy, too much anger, too much frustration, too much desire, attachment. Internally, you have no freedom. All these destructive emotions control your mind. So, I think both are important. External freedom, very important. I think one small example. Among Tibetan, there's some, of course, we are passing through a difficult period. And from time to time, very sad news is always coming. So under same circumstances, some Tibetan, now for example, many years ago, I met one Tibetan. Now I asked him what he feels towards Chinese. Before he give answer, his face become red, and then his what called cheeks become like that. Then he say, "Yes, I'm very angry." Then, other hand, is some Tibetan. Even though they spent many years, I think at least around two decades, in Chinese gulag, a lot of problem, lot of suffering, lot of sort of torture, but their mind very calm. In one occasion, you see, even some scientists, after the Mind and Life meeting, there's some scientists now showing special sort of interest, so they interviewed some of these people. So later, those scientists told me, something very remarkable. In spite of the traumatic sort of life, many years, but their mind still very calm. So now that, although both are in free country, now in India, but some still mentally not very free. Too much anger, too much hatred. Those more happier, more calm-minded Tibetan, because of ex-prisoners of Chinese, their mind, I think, the more free from these negative emotions, destructive emotion. So result, these people more happier. I myself, I don't know. In what category, I don't know. maybe middle. Maybe middle, I don't know. Yes?
Thank you.
So generally, as we already see as attached, right? I always see something happen, very bad things happen. I look, now due to past mistake, bound to happen this. So there is no other way to escape. There's not much way to blame to someone. All causes, conditions fully ripened. Now we are facing the consequences. So now instead of discourage or anger, we should look the problem holistic way and deal with more realistic way. On the other hand, you may, sometimes it's helpful to think, this tragedy bring us opportunity, or this tragedy or this challenge bring us the opportunity to face handle as a human way. Isn't it? I think Tibetan people, generally speaking, inspite many various sort of methods, including some torture or some negative thing, and also sometimes bribing, give money like that. But Tibetan people, I think, generally speaking, I think quite practical, and their Tibetan spirit remain very, very firm. Too much anger, too much emotion, then too much violence. Result, both sides suffer more destructions. Like that. Next.
Your Holiness, it is said that we have to experience sorrow to achieve happiness. So it's also true that to achieve the ultimate happiness, we have to experience the ultimate sorrow.
그것도 저거로 있어요, 그래서. Philosophers of Shidwa. I don't know. Yes, generally speaking, life spent very easy way, then sometimes it spoil basic sort of human potential. I think one example, I think generally American, the First World War, Second World War, Korean War, Vietnam War, never touch, right? Never reach, right? Your continent. So American people, generally speaking, very safe. Then September 11th, right? Too much shock. I think life quite easy, and more prosperity is never passing through this some kind of difficulties. Other hand, Europeans, not this generation, but the elder generation who passing through, who witnessed this First World War, and particularly now some generations now, the Second World War, and immediately after war, I think these people really heart and red. So small things, some tragedies may not disturb much in their mind. So their determination, their spirit, always high. Then the second part, highest happiness.
No, the happiness to Yobala, and highest soul to Yogalas.
That I don't know. Yes, next.
How does Your Holiness watch over yourself so that you can carry out your duties and not lose your way?
그래서 말은 거라. What is your exact meaning? But generally speaking, as I understood is your question, basically, I always feel, including my dream, I always consider myself as a simple Buddhist monk. So, the work which I involve with the name of Dalai Lama, and of course a Tibetan, sometimes I have to sort of examine, as a Buddhist monk, whether you see this kind of work is suitable or not. So, up to now, our struggle, our work as an exiled community, our work is actually, firstly, for a nation, not our own sort of interest, but a nation with a long history and a rich cultural heritage. Of course, materially very, very backward, very poor, but spiritually, I think quite advanced, quite rich and peaceful, compassionate society. I think generally, if we compare Tibetan society and Chinese society, I think Tibetan society is much compassion, much compassion, much peaceful, much compassionate. And our main goal or main sort of responsibility, main interest is preservation of Tibetan culture. That means Buddhism. Buddhism also is very, very important because it's a Tibetan way of life, cultural heritage, very much based on Buddha Dharma, Buddhism. So therefore, our struggle, our activities, our activities is actually serving for Buddha Dharma. So as a Buddhist monk, my service, my involvement in that kind of work is actually serving Buddha Dharma. And then secondly, our basic sort of basic nature of our struggle, strictly non-violent. If violent involved, then it is questionable. I am Buddhist monk, whether I should participate or not. Then also, I always telling Tibetan, whether these young Tibetan, whether I agree or not, they may have some critical view. Our approach, there's a middle approach. So that means not one side victory, one side defeat. Mutual benefit, Tibetan ourselves as well as to the Chinese people. So that is victory both sides. So our effort is actually serving billions of Chinese, like that. So I always made very clear, if our struggle become violent nature, then there is no other choice except resign, withdraw. Then also, when time comes, return. Then our political system should, hopefully, democratic sort of system. We already implementing in India, while we are as a refugee community. So far here, no sort of, the effective political parties. In future, there should be effective political parties. So my involvement in political parties business, not only just myself, but I always telling monks in Himalayan regions, I prefer monk should not involve in party politics. Monk should be above politics. So therefore, you see, the way of approach always. Actually, way of approach Mari ta kaso ta ngejik ta laga chati. My involvement. Accordingly, my involvement from time to time, I'm checking whether this involvement, whether appropriate or not, as a Buddhist monk. Okay, like that. 말해, this 말해. 좋은 인물, 좋아. So some Tibetan some youth, even if suggested to our elected political leadership, he also monk. So some prefer should be layperson. Some even suggested our elected sort of political leadership as a monk, he should disrobe. So that means he got more freedom. Yes, next question, yes.
Are there any questions that Your Holiness still has that you would still like to know the answer to? And one easy thing. Next day, whether this weather be a good weather or bad weather, I don't know. Of course, as a human being, our knowledge very limited. So many questions which we can't find answer. Always there, always there. I see. I think in Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist, I think mainly Buddhist philosophy, yes, there are some practical questions. On many occasions I publicly express, and our younger generations or younger scholars should find the answer or explanation. Like that. Otherwise, I don't know. Are there any specific questions that are on your mind now? Not now.
I think modern physics, like quantum physics, in these, I think Buddhist 1,000 years, I think quite fairly sort of clear sort of ideas. Right? Then I think the duration. I think this sun, since this sun started about 5 billions of years. I think according Buddhist literature, no. I think according scientists, this sun about 5 billions. They still another 5 billions. So that means now middle, isn't it? According Buddhist literature, this eon, still early part of the eon. So now there's differences, right? Differences. So it's a further sort of research or
because of the reconciliation way. I don't know what to say. Buddhist literature mentioned like that. The modern science now is the quite clear evidence, although few millions, I think differences, it doesn't matter. But basically, you see, I think more or less quite clear. Oh, so like that, you see, in Buddhist literature, this eon, 1,000 Buddhas, already 3 Buddhas already, past Buddhas, then the Shakyamuni Buddha, 4th, is present Buddha. So still another 996 Buddhas. So, we have to
We have to see how to reconcile these two ideas.
The other is the Mount Merus, these things. When I was in Tibet, this is some questions, but now more or less no question. I do not believe the existence of Mount Meru like that. But Tibetan, many Tibetan, because of the scholars, still believe that. So, but for that, I have no doubt. I publicly said because of the state, like that. Then. Any suggestions? Most welcome. Any suggestions? I think your presence or your thinking or your program is more because of the more discussions from different parts of the world or different people, and then try to concrete sort of plan. That's wonderful, very good. Many occasions, I just expressing, many people actually agree that today up-to-date sort of the education system is not full, not complete. We need time change, the reality change. So we need some changes. That's more or less many people agree or expressing to me. So I also feel like that. But then how to do that? I have no idea. My idea is just zero, nothing. Of course, I train through Buddhist tradition. So hopefully, the ability to investigate, to analyze. I think my brain not hopeless. but so therefore, quite easier, to see some faults, right? But the answer, no answer. So therefore, quite a number of occasions, I express now someone who should carry serious research work in this field. Now you are here. You already involved in that because of the work. So I very much appreciate. So from time to time, in future, if my site, anything can serve to you, I always ready. I am your disposal. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
A gift from Mount Madonna.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. 너 좀 아저씨가 걸렸다. 응? especially. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you again. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. See you again.
Maybe this is the most memorable moment in my life.
I don't understand how someone can have such a profound effect on you.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much, the Dalai Lama Foundation. Thank you.
It's like, think about where we are, right here, you know, at the center of the Buddhist government in exile with the president, the equivalent of their president. It's just a moment, you know, probably won't come again.